go. 1, 2, 3.
My name is Lorenzo Muti, and I am the conductor, artistic director of the Chamber Orchestra, the Triangle.
My name is Niccolo Muti, and I'm the assistant conductor of the Chamber Orchestra of the Triangle, and I've actually been playing in the orchestra. I think the first time I played in the orchestra, I was 12 years old.
The orchestra was formed in 1982 at St. Stephen's Episcopal Church in Durham, and it was led by George Taylor, the great member of the Ciampi String Quartet. And then as the orchestra matured after about 6 years at St. Stephen's, they decided that the ideal conductor for the orchestra would be Lorenzo.
I was born in a little town. Spoleto is a little town in central Italy. All of a sudden, one year, this man came into town and was looking for a young boy who could sing this role in this new opera that he had just composed. I took the audition. I was chosen. All of a sudden, I was brought into the world of music, and from one thing to another until I came to the States to study conducting. And then I continued my career between Europe and the United States.
Lorenzo comes from a long tradition of conductors in general in terms of the way he approaches the podium. He's the full package when it comes to being a conductor, and he's a very cultured man, which makes things even more interesting for us as we approach the music. He's had a history of working in really small detail until he gets exactly what he wants, and then he puts it all together.
Energetic. Demanding, but he's a very nice person, and it's all about the music.
It's all about the music.
That's what I like about him the most.
I think he knows what he wants in a piece. He has a clear vision for what he wants it to sound like.
He's very exacting in his interpretation of the music, and it's challenging to sometimes see it through his eyes. I find it engaging that way, and sometimes a little bit intimidating, but it's certainly an opportunity to try to see the music in a very different way than I might initially see
Than we might study.
Yeah.
So I think I picked up a violin when I was...
He's about 4.
About 4.
You know, none of my family are musicians, and neither are there musicians in Lorenzo's family, and we just wanted him to be exposed more than anything. It was such a huge part of our lives, and obviously he was spending a lot of time with it.
One image that I will never forget, in the summer times we were in Italy, and my grandmother's house is out in the countryside, and I remember I would come home from playing and the windows would be open in Dad's study, and classical music was blasting out over this little tiny village, and you could hear it from, you know, from down in the square, and that's kind of how I grew up with music, in that it was always kind of in the background. It wasn't always a super focus, something that had to be done, but just always a presence in my life.
I think this interest in conducting had been lingering around for quite a while. And then it kind of burst out in the last 2 or 3 years. And so it was kind of a natural thing to have him, you know, kind of join me in the work with the Chamber Orchestra, for the simple reason that, first of all, I really needed an assistant. And at the same time, what he's doing right now is providing, you know, some kind of experience and time on the podium for hopefully something that will come in the future. So it has been a natural progression.
Niccolo's background as a strings player, I watched his rehearsal yesterday, and it was just really beautiful to see the kind of metaphor he was using and the way he worked with it, because you could tell that he's been an orchestral member and he knows exactly what they're thinking and sort of what he wants. And he would be the first to tell you that he's got a lot to learn.
Well, he's just getting started now, but he's seems to be very dedicated to it.
Yes, I think it'll be exciting to see what he does
I mean,
with it as the season
those of us
goes
who've been
on.
around a while remember Niccolo when he was
Small.
a toddler.
Playing in the aisles, you know, they didn't have a babysitter. There's Niccolo crawling, and yeah.
I certainly remember those
I
times.
do too.
And it's been really wonderful to see Niccolo sort of grow up.
Grow up.
Not only physically and mentally, but musically too, you know.
It's delightful to have somebody who's that young and that passionate about music and that in love with what he's doing, involved with the orchestra. And I expect to see him on the great world stages.
I had this conductor. He said that music is the best lover that you'll ever have, in that it will never let you down in any way. The music will always be there, and it's true. And I think that can be said for the arts. It's something that's always there. It's something that has the ability to always fulfill you in whatever period of life you're going through. They're there to be enjoyed by everybody.
I really feel that the Chamber Orchestra has become a marvelous little jewel in the community, in the Triangle. My dream has been for a long time to be able to fill the Carolina Theater, to have a sellout audience, because I think the orchestra really deserves it.